Welcome back, guys, to the 100% run of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. We are now at the Ice Palace, which is the 5th Crystal Dungeon. This is one of the longer dungeons in the game. It was the dungeon that I thought was the hardest puzzle-wise whenever I was a kid. I'm going to be using the Quake Medallion some throughout here. I never actually get to use the Quake Medallion as a combat weapon very much. I just don't think it's as useful as the other medallions because a lot of times it'll just turn the enemies into these little beanbag type creatures. There aren't that many enemies that it will actually flat out kill, so I like using it here in the Ice Palace. Use bombs to take out the Stalfos Knights in one hit. Well, actually 2 hits because you got to make them crumble first. Go down here, you'll be on conveyors. Let yourself go along this area and use the Ether Medallion to take out the enemies. Be careful of this fire stick. You can just use the magic cape or the blue cane to get around it if you want, or just wait for it to pass and run. Either way works. Use the Quake Medallion again here. The treasure of this dungeon is the blue mail, which halves the amount of damage that you take. Go up here, let yourself fall down to the floor below, and then take the door to the right. Gotta use the hookshot to cross here, but these little red creatures can sometimes get in the way. Just run straight down here and then go up these stairs right here. Go down here, hookshot over to the pot, hit the switch, hookshot over to the chest, and then you can do whatever you want to get back across the spikes. If you're quick, you'll only take 1 hit, but you don't even have to take damage if you use the cape, the blue cane, or if you go down the stairs and come back up. Pull this thing's tongue out and go up the stairs here. And we now have the big key of the dungeon. There we go. We got a little bit of backtracking to do before we'll be able to get the blue mail, but not all that much. Use the hookshot to cross these spikes here and then go through the locked door. Run straight across here and then go down these steps. Bomb the floor over here. Then fall down and now you're at the blue mail. I like the little color scheme that goes along with the blue mail, the blue tunic, the yellow hat, and I think that it goes really well with the red sword. Use the Ether Medallion to take out these guys if you want to. Lift up this pot, get a key, and then go up this door here. And head down from here. You're going to have to hit a crystal switch and then do a lap around the dungeon right quick. Go back up these stairs here. You're going to have to do a lap around the dungeon like I just said. You're going to have to come up on the other side of this room and push a block down. For years, I'd just skip this dungeon and go to the 6th dungeon, the Misery Mire, because there you can get the red cane, which lets you create blocks and saves you the trouble of backtracking and whatnot through the dungeon. It wasn't until I actually found the correct way to go through this dungeon that I started doing it like this. Press this switch and then go through the door on the left. Then fall down this hole. Now go to the right by 1 screen, push the lower block down. Lift up the skull in the middle of the room, push the block onto the switch, and then go down. You're going to want to lift this big block over here to the left. Then fall down. Down here is the boss of this dungeon, Cold Stare. Use the Bombos Medallion or the Fire Rod to melt the ice surrounding the eyeball. Once the ice is melted, it'll split into 3. Use the Fire Rod or your sword to destroy the eyes. The Fire Rod is more effective, though. And with that, the Ice Palace is complete. We don't have a whole lot to do before going to the 6th dungeon. As a matter of fact, everything that we need to do before going to the 6th dungeon is in the exact same area as the 6th dungeon. So really, we're pretty much just going straight to the 6th dungeon from here, which is the Misery Mire. Back whenever I was a kid, I used to get the names of the 2nd Crystal Dungeon and the 6th Crystal Dungeon mixed up. I'd call the 2nd Crystal Dungeon the Misery Mire and the 6th one the Swamp Palace. Just use the magic mirror, then you gotta use the flute to go to the desert. Then throw the black rock on the right, go to the dark world. We got 2 pieces of heart to get here in this little swampy area. Go into this little face here. Dodge those little sparks, and your first piece of heart is in this chest right here. There we go. Go straight down and leave this area, head over to the right in this little section. Get it right up against the wall, use the magic mirror, toss this rock out of your way. And just like that, you already have your next piece of heart. And that's everything that we need to get before going to the 6th dungeon. So yeah, not very much. And just from here go to where the middle head would be. You'll see a little ether medallion logo on the ground. Just use that obviously, and it will make the third head rise from the swamp or whatever. And just like that, you're already at the 6th crystal dungeon. First floor is pretty straightforward. Same with this room. Kill all the enemies in this room to make the door open. And make your way through this room, through the door in the upper right. Careful of all the flame sticks and sparks that you see everywhere. Push this block out of your way and go up. Cross this bridge, cross this other bridge right here, get yourself a key, then head back. You'll want to get either the blue cane or the cape ready, or if you don't mind taking damage, then don't even worry about it. Lift up this pot and open this chest for another key. Go up here, run up, then run to the left, cross this big bridge to another room. In this room is a crystal switch that you'll have to hit, right over here to the left. Get this key, hit the switch, wait for that to pass, and then make your way through. From here, go down, then go down again, and go to the right, and then go down once again. Be sure to kill the blue enemy in this room. Drops another key for you, go down here. Then up the stairs we go. In this next area, we'll have to light up 4 torches that are in separate rooms, 2 in one room, 2 in another room. Push the blocks out of your way, and then after you've gotten all the blocks out of the way that block the torches, get ready to light them all. Once you've lit up all the torches, it will move a wall in the room to the right from here. After the wall is moved out of your way and everything, it will reveal a hole for you to fall into. Falling into the hole will lead you straight to the big key of the dungeon, as you see right here. Then from here, go into the room on the left, take the first teleporter, then go to the room on the right, then go down from here. Then take a right again, go down these stairs. Our next destination is the treasure of this dungeon, which is the Cane of Samaria. Something like that, kind of a weird name. The red cane that lets you make blocks. Use the hookshot to get over here, run up to the chest, get your cane. And now it's time to head for the boss. We already got the big key and everything, so yep, nothing more for us to do in this dungeon. Go through this door over here. Run across the long bridge to the stairs that lead down below. Head over to the left in this room, throw the skull out of the way and place a block on the switch. Go left in this room. Be careful of the bouncing trap here. Use a projectile to hit this crystal switch, then go into the room on the left over here. Bomb the wall at the top. Careful because shadow creatures might come out of it. Hit that switch and then go through the door on the left here. Go straight up north from here. Hit this crystal switch and then go up the stairs. And we are now right at the boss's door. For this boss, I'd recommend throwing on the magic cape and then walking up to where the eyes are at, the smaller eyes, and just slashing them all to death. Takes them out really quickly. Once they're all dead, get out your bow and just shoot arrows non-stop into the big eye. And yeah, this boss is really easy if you're well equipped for it. Once again, we don't really have a whole lot to do. Well, actually we do have a couple things to do before going to level 7, the Turtle Rock. Our first thing that we gotta do is we gotta go by the bomb shop, which is Link's house in the Dark World. And if you rescue the Dwarven Blacksmith, then once you complete the 6th crystal dungeon, the shop will have power bombs or super bombs available. One of those will cost you 100 rupees. And you gotta get one of those in order to gain access to the fairy pond at the Pyramid of Power. Go over here and enter the Dark World over here. In the little fairy's pond in the Pyramid of Power, you can get the silver arrows, the golden sword, and magic potion if you want it, if you have any empty bottles. It's a shame that you can't actually carry the super bombs in your inventory or anything like that. And what's even stranger is that they won't even damage enemies or anything. Just kind of weird considering how big and powerful the blast looks, and yet it can't even destroy enemies. Which is a shame, but oh well. Place the bomb by this little cracked wall here, wait for it to blow up, and then enter the fairy's pond. There we go, the mysterious pond, whatever. Throw your bow and arrow in to get the silver arrows. And like I said, you can also throw in any empty bottles that you have and they'll get turned into magic potion if you want to do that. And lastly, you can toss in your tempered sword to get the golden sword. Kind of makes me sad to give up the tempered sword because I love the red coloring of it. Still though, I don't mind just because of the power that you get with the golden sword. Alright, that's all that we had to do for now. Now it's time to head up to Death Mountain. I always like taking the path to Turtle Rock going across the broken bridge. I hate these little weird creatures that wander around here on Death Mountain that turn into stone whenever you hit them. They're so annoying. I always love crossing this broken bridge. I don't know why. Enter the Dark World down here. There we go. Then go over here to the right. Enter this cave on the left. And up we go. There's only one other item that we can get before going to the Turtle Rock for now, which is another piece of heart. The very last piece of heart that we'll be getting in the game you get while you're going through Turtle Rock. You'll have to leave outside of it for a moment, and you can just get it then. We're not too much further from where we get our next piece of heart. Right here. Toss this rock out of the way. If you'd like to, you can use the hookshot to go around this area. Each of these treasure chests has 50 rupees in them. The blue creature at the top can kind of be annoying, and it can kind of be helpful at times. If it hits you into the hole, it can take you back to the start, which is where you were going to begin with. Still annoying that you gotta take damage from it, though. Blow open the wall to the left over there. And use the magic mirror once you're outside. Grab the piece of heart, then go right back to the Dark World, because you won't be able to get back down otherwise. Once you're back down, head over here to the right, and then use the magic mirror. Go back to the Light World, toss this big black rock, and then use the magic hammer, pound the stakes in counterclockwise order. And then use the Quake Medallion. And just like that, Turtle Rock is now open. There are a few locations throughout Hyrule where you can pull on stuff and rupees will come out. One of them is the paw to Turtle Rock. There we go. Yeah, you gotta use the red cane throughout this dungeon to create platforms to ride on. Do it here. You got a little puzzle involving the fire rod in this room. Just let yourself circle around, shoot one blast of it upwards, and then light these two to the right. You'll have more than enough time to go through the door, so don't worry too much about it. Avoid the little roly-poly type enemies, and then get your key in this room. Then head back down. If you want the map, it was in the other chest that was up there. Lift the very bottom pot here to get full magic. Then go back over here. You'll want to go in the left door up here at the top. Kill this little bouncing creature to get another key. Then use a projectile to hit that crystal switch. Push this block, then use another projectile to hit it. Once you've gotten your key, go through the door up here. Be careful of those chain chomp type enemies, they hurt. Go to the lower right of this area and then enter the little pipes here. Then enter the first one right here. Right now we are trying to get the big key of the dungeon. The treasure of this dungeon is the mirror shield, which we'll be getting before too much longer. Pretty much right after we get the big key. We'll be getting our piece of heart right before we get the mirror shield, though. And just like that, we have the big key of the dungeon. We have to circle around back through this room here. Once we've done that, we can enter the little pipe that takes us to the area where we will be getting the mirror shield. Enter the one that's higher up right here. Kill these enemies if you want to. Well, you got to, in order to open up the doors. Once they've been killed, go through the lower door, then go left and get bombs ready. Blow open the wall at the bottom. After you've done that, leave the dungeon, go all the way to the right, use the magic mirror. You'll be at a cave that you couldn't get to otherwise. Kill the little creatures that walk with you. Once you've done that, pound down the mole and go through the door at the top, and just like that, you have your very last piece of heart. Go back out of here, enter the little warp that you made, go back into Turtle Rock, use the hook shot or the red cane to get over here to the chest, and you had the mirror shield. Go through the door up here at the top, it'll lead you to a pipe that'll lead you to a door. Go into that door, obviously, bomb the upper wall here. After you've done that, you'll be in a room with a roly-poly type enemy and a crystal switch. Use a projectile to hit the switch, get a key, then use a projectile again. Get the red cane ready and go down the stairs. You got a little maze type room here. You're going to have to hit a switch. After you've hit the switch, you're going to have to make your way to the door that it unlocked, which is in the lower left part of the room. Once you're in the next room, just run directly down. Don't worry too much about the beams or anything. Run directly down here and then get the very bottom chest, which has a key. Then go back up. Knock the Helmosaur into a hole or something. Then go through the left door, make your way through this maze of a room involving the crystal switches. We're just about to the boss of this dungeon. I like the boss of this dungeon. You have to use the fire rod and the ice rod to take him out. Get your magic filled up here and then head up to the boss's room. I'd recommend taking out the ice head first because the ice will actually stay around and mess with you, whereas the fire head's fire won't do anything other than hurt you. 3 hits from the golden sword on each of these heads and body parts will take them all out. After you've taken out the 2 heads, the main portion of the body will come out and kind of be like a snake. Attack its middle body portion, the little flashing part, 3 times with the golden sword and it'll be down and out. And we have our very final heart container and our last crystal. We have absolutely nothing left to do after Zelda finishes talking to us. We just need to go straight to Ganons Tower, which is just a very little bit to the left of where we're at right now. We'll be seeing some Lionel enemies on our way to Ganons Tower, which is the only portion of the game that you'll ever really get to see those type of enemies here in A Link to the Past. It's just right here along the top of the Dark World version of Death Mountain. Right here you see them. You can take them out if you want to. I usually just avoid them though. Here we are at Ganons Tower. Let the crystals do their thing. I always like this little cutscene. I'm not sure why. Just like the way how the crystals look and everything. Go through the left door over here. Run into the torch to make the key fall down. Go left to lift up the lower right pot. Get the key, pound 2 moles. Push the block, hit the switch. Use your hook shot in this room to go from block to block till you get to the very bottom of the room, and then hit the crystal switch and place a bomb on it. Wait for the bomb to blow up. Go to the next room, lay a bomb right next to those switches. Get a key out of the lower skull in that other room. Go into the warp here. Head left here. Take the middle path here. Try to stay in the middle. Push that block, hook shot over, get the key, go down. Try to stay to the left with these warps. I don't know why, but I always like this little secret area over here. Just the way how it looks with all those switches. It only really opens up a path to some extra bombs and arrows, so if you need bombs and arrows you can come here, but I didn't really need them. I just like going into that room. Like I said, stay along the left part of the area as you go through the warps. Watch out for the holes as you go through here. Then head right. In this room, make your way up here, knocking the little blue octopus type enemies and the Helmosaurs into the holes. Light the torch from over there, use the hookshot to grab that skull, and then walk along the floor that you see. You can walk along the floor even if you can't see, but it's just easier if you can. Blow open the floor that's in the lower right over here. Turn that anti-fairy into a fairy with magic powder if you want to. Down here, you'll be fighting the boss from the Eastern Palace, the Pendant of Courage dungeon. Except with silver arrows, all the statues go down in one hit. Really easy, and just like that, we have the big key. We'll be getting the treasure of the dungeon just real shortly. The treasure of this dungeon is the red mail, which gives you 75% protection from all enemy attacks. Most powerful armor in the game, of course. You've done everything that you need to on the biggest floor in this tower, so now it's just time to start heading up. From here, it's pretty much just really straightforward, one room to the next, to the next, to the next sort of thing. No branching paths or anything, just one room to the next with a bunch of traps and enemies. You can use this statue here to try to block the bouncing trap that's going everywhere. After you've done that, use arrows to take out the little red statue-like creatures, or whatever they are, the guys that mimic your movement. Then head up from here, go through the door. You'll also be fighting the bosses from the second pendant dungeon and third pendant dungeon. They also go down a lot easier than they did earlier in the game, of course. And up we go. You can use the medallions throughout this floor to take out the enemies if you want to, which is what I usually do. Just makes things a lot easier and a lot quicker. I usually stick to using the Bone Boast medallion. It's the most reliable for killing the enemies throughout here because the Quake medallion will sometimes just stun the enemies. The Ether medallion will freeze them, but the Bone Boast will always outright kill them, so you don't have to worry about freezing them and then killing them. You can just directly kill them with the Bone Boast medallion. So I'd recommend just sticking to that. Coming up right ahead is the boss of the second pendant dungeon, the Land Molas. Just use silver arrows to take them out, or 2 hits from the golden sword, whichever way you prefer. Either way is really easy. Here, before too much longer, we'll be fighting the boss of the third pendant dungeon, who, like I said earlier, is a lot easier than he was in the Tower of Hera earlier. It's the big Moldorm, the most annoying boss in the game, in my opinion. Just head over this way, get your fire rod ready. You're going to have to light up some torches. You can also do it with a lamp if you want to, but it'll take you longer. Get magic out of this pot, light that up, and go right. There's a full magic upgrade right here, a power-up, however you want to look at it. Light up all the torches in this room to open up the door at the top. Kill one of these Helmasaurs for a key. After you've done that, go through the door on the left and toss a bomb onto the conveyor belt. It'll blow a hole in the wall, run into the wall to trick out the big trap, and then go down. Open up the chest for a big key, then go down in this room. And here we are at the giant Moldorm. And as you can see, he can still knock you down, which is really annoying. And same way earlier, if you get knocked down, the battle will start completely over. The good news is that he has a bigger arena, and he only takes 2 hits to kill if you have the golden sword. So overall, he's a lot easier and a lot less annoying. We're just about to the boss of this dungeon, who is Aghanim. Round 2 against him. He makes 2 clones of himself, so you got 3 Aghanims riding around or teleporting around. Take him out the same way as you did before, just hit his magic back at him. I think that this battle is funner. Now, he actually goes down quicker in this battle than he does in the castle, because his clones always shoot the magic that you can reflect, so it takes him out a lot quicker. Once Aghanim is down and out, Ganon comes out of him, transforms into a bat, and then flies off. So you gotta give chase with your duck or your goose or whatever it is. And time for the final battle of the game against Ganon. You can get a preemptive hit on him if you want to before he starts talking. With the golden sword, it's pretty much just hack and slash away at him while you have the chance. If you want to, you can use the cape or the blue cane to avoid his bats. Make sure you hit him at this phase of the battle each time he teleports to a new area. He'll destroy the border of the room. After he's done that, he'll turn the lamps off or the torches. After he's done that, light up both torches, hit him, he'll turn light blue. Shoot him with a silver arrow whenever that happens. 4 silver arrows and he'll be down and out. Overall, not too bad of a final boss. He's fairly easy, really. With Ganon now down and out, it's time to check out the ending and everything. I kind of wish that the essence of the Triforce would talk a little faster. They talk really slowly. Overall, I personally think that The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is one of the easiest Zeldas to 100% personally. Although some of the other Zeldas are fairly easy to 100% as well, I definitely know Link to the Past better than I know any other Zelda. It was the first one that I ever owned and beat whenever I was younger. And I played through it a lot more than I have any of the other Zeldas. Great game. I like the ending to A Link to the Past as well, and how it shows all the different characters and how you affected them and shows that they're better and stuff. I also really like the music that plays throughout the little cast of characters and everything. Got the Return of the King here, the King Zelda, the 6 maidens, and a few knights. The loyal sage, however, he came back to life, but whatever. Welcome back, sage. Sahasrarl's homecoming. Vultures rule the desert. You would have thought that they would have given the locksmith credit instead of the vultures. Kind of random there. The bully and his friend. Your uncle recovers, that's good to know. Doesn't have his shield no more. Flippers for sale. You'd sell more if you'd tell your little smaller Zora friends to back off your customers, head Zora. The witch and assistant. Twin lumberjacks. Hey lumberjacks, you're welcome. I didn't mind finishing off the other tree that you only cut about halfway. Flute boy's back again. Guess the spell wore off that turned him into a tree once we got the Triforce. Venus, Queen of Fairies. The Dwarven Swordsmiths. Bug Catching Kid. The woman that you see sweeping right there can actually be turned into a fairy if you use magic powder on her. The thing is, I never get magic powder until I'm in the dark world, and by that point, she's not outside anymore. So I never get to do that, but hey, it's still kind of cool. The Lost Old Man. Forest Thief. Even the Master Sword gets a little bit of the credit too. And well, that is it for our 100% run of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. I hope you all enjoyed watching it and you know the drill. Comment, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for watching.